we're trying to build a community dashboard. And so we have this call every 2 weeks to try to update everyone on what's going on. And this week, I'm really pleased to invite Andrej from Deepwork, who's going to be facilitating these calls on a bi-weekly basis. The reason we're doing this is because this will allow us to make this a true community project. Before I invite Andrej, let me just set the table. The main changes we made since this call 2 weeks ago is there's now a wiki section on this dashboard. And so this is kind of like the main information for this project. So we've migrated most of the information from the Notion page onto here. So this is kind of going to be like the main information source for this project. So the idea is that we're going to publish the recording or the meeting notes every time, and that we've kind of assigned, I guess, maintainers for the individual pages in the dashboard. George has actually submitted a pull request to change README already, some of the things, and I'll kind of make those changes as well. And then for each of the other dashboard pages, we basically have kind of like teams of people. And so the idea is that, in this meeting every 2 weeks, each page owners will kind of give an update on their changes or what they've done on their pages every couple of weeks. And I'll be the first to admit that I actually haven't done a lot in the last 2 weeks because I've been busy on other things. But that's kind of why this is a community project. It's not the main focus for all of us. But the hope is that we can put in some time on the side on the project every couple weeks, and then this meeting will be almost like a forcing function to get us to update everyone on what we've done and showcase the changes we've made to this project on every couple weeks. So that's what we're idea. And first, I wanted to, introduce Andrej. So Andrej, I've known Andrej for a long time. He's actually the leader of Deepwork, which is one of the main the leading design firms in the crypto industry. And they've also been working with Hummingbot for a long time. They designed the initial Hummingbot website, the initial miner site as well. And now Andrej is actually, we're both really interested in using these decentralized organizations to build something that's better than the traditional corporation. Welcome to the stage, Andrej.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for the intro. Also, just quickly from my side, I work at Deepwork, or I've created Deepwork, which is also a relatively open organization that is kind of what people see in a DAO. There are no real full-time people, and I'm currently helping a lot of different projects kind of stay aligned and make sure that everybody knows what to do, and also build their own organizations throughout time. So I think the most exciting and interesting way to approach this is to have regular alignment workshops or agile sprint scopings every other week or so, which not only act as a way to kind of update each other really quickly, but also find new opportunities for collaboration and discover new possibilities to sharpen your skills and actually prove your skills on something that can be then in the long term a more sustainable role or function within the organization. And also just uncover new opportunities to evolve the project into different directions that you actually think is meaningful, because we all don't exactly know individually where everything is going, but we can, or at least there's no a centralized way to navigate everything in a particular direction, especially when there are a lot of people or a lot of contributors who are interested in joining or on and off. I would like to kind of facilitate today is more like a quick session that allows you as the contributors of this project to basically make decisions and suggestions on what can be done, how it can be done, and who wants to contribute in some way. And kind of collectively from the bottom up steer where everything is going. And it's a very simple exercise. It consists of basically 2 stages. So we're just going to review whatever everybody is working on, or whatever you find is currently the most interesting. And then at the same time, just write down a couple of challenges, or in some way, maybe problems that you would like to work on, or something that just comes up that you would like to be involved in. And I'll explain to you exactly how that works in a second. And then after that's done, we'll come up with some solutions on how to do it. And these solutions can make sense and or not. Those that don't make sense will be just probably fun ideas. And those that do make sense, we can then delegate or actually self-delegate. So that if you find that some particular area of work or some particular kind of contribution might be interesting to you, and it's also aligned with your interests and your skills, then you can just place your name on it and contribute to it or work on it. And once you've completed it, everybody will actually see that you've done something. And over the course of these weeks, I'll also tell you more about how to actually aggregate reputation based on like open contribution as not just something that's a one-off bounty, but that's actually part of a collective, part of a organization that you can then also show around in other organizations, or almost like use as a self-constructed CV that is based on actual work that has actual real-world value in the particular context. In this case, for Hummingbot.
Yeah. Any question you have, I think, is good, because I think from our standpoint, it's almost like we're not sure how to structure the project in a way that's going to kind of like achieve the best long-term results. So it's kind of like, I think this process to me is a really good one, because it'll just raise all the issues that questions people have, and hopefully it'll help us kind of structure the projects a little more cleanly. In the last couple of weeks, we basically just kind of defined like the goal of the project, which is to create like an open source like dashboard, which can help people with their bots. Because of the way the framework is designed, it's like, instead of building like one master dashboard that does everything, I think it's actually better to have each page on the dashboard do one thing. One page might be like analyzing this type of strategy. Another page might be like helping you like generate config files. Another one might be, helping you like, let's say, manage the like list all the running bots and managing them. So I think the overall idea is to like create more of like a system where every page is doing like one thing, and that will allow people in the community to like, actually contribute and design and own that page.
Nice.
And so hopefully, I think to me, actually just raising some issues are, it's like, how do we do this in a way that actually gives people ownership, but still ends up like, working together, and not being like a mess. So that's to me, like, that's like the main like question in my mind. But
cool.
That's why it's like, but I would love to hear what other people think as well, in terms of like, what we're trying to do here, because, but that's why I think the question is special.
Thank you. But I'll just explain to you how it works, just so everybody knows what to do. The HMW stands for How Might We? It's an exercise from the 70s or 80s from Procter & Gamble. The idea is to basically write down a question or challenge that you perceive as something that should be worked on, or that should be resolved in some way, regardless what it actually belongs to, whether it's like on a meta level, like I just wrote here, on like how to structure the actual project for a dashboard. This is just an example. Or it could be something very specific. So if you're already working on a dashboard, like it could be something like, how might we design what a strategy could look like, or define. The exercise, the first part of it consists of basically just writing down as many of these how might we's as possible from the information and from the knowledge that you have about the project from a personal point of view. So whatever surrounds your work, your interests, whatever you care about, anything that you think that could be improved, for example, or what your goals would be with the entire project, think about it as if you own the project. So what would you like to see improved, or what could be better?
I do think that some folks in the audience have been doing work on their respective dashboard pages in the last 2 weeks. So who among the dashboard team wants to give an update on what they're working on, or what they've worked on? I think that would help people just like think about like what it looks like, from a visual standpoint.
So I define all the interfaces of the base class. Now we have these generics for the configuration, and that is because, well, this is like the base class of the strategies. And here you have like different experiments. The thing is that this is what you are going to see to configure a strategy. And what I'm trying to do is to auto-complete all this configuration in the UI for the user. You want to run, that looks like something like this. This is like the code of Tuna to do the optimization. So you're going to suggest variables for different configurations that you want to test, we are going to have like different tabs too, because right now, for example, I'm creating the broker, and then I put daemon 1, and I create the instance, daemon 2, and I create the instance. Now I have the Hummingbot instance here. So as you can see, I can manage the bots, I can create new bots, I can send commands to the bots, but what I can do is to see it in a nice way. I can stop the instances, kill the instances. But if I have this in different tabs, like tab 1, create new strategy with this configuration, tab 2, whatever, will be much more organized.
I think if we just form these like 2-person teams, and have them focus on various pages, they kind of let each team really just drive their respective page.
Yeah, also, for example, this page, I think that is worked by James C. Magic and Drupman. So probably all the things that are related to reporting can be managed by them. This is how it started, and this is how it goes, 2022. So we thought that something like this, boxes, and you can see all the active instances with buttons that you can stop and start. This is like the boss revenue stuff. But we were like drafting some of the stuff here. Drupman sent me yesterday with the things that we discussed of how we think that the backtesting should be like organized later on. So the script editor task, all the things that I mentioned, how to run the backtesting. Well, here I'm missing some of the pages, but this is like the draft of how we were organizing like the work in the different pages.
The main team, like me and George, should be doing. I think we should actually create like almost like a strategy or like a dashboard like base class that defines like all the all the things that dashboard should have, like title, description, the layout, and that kind of thing. So then it'll give every page a little more structure. But then once we have that structure in place, I feel like every page should just be on its own. Like it should really just be able to progress without having to worry about what the other pages are doing. Let's say the backtest management page may be like more advanced, let's say, than the bot orchestration page. But I think that's good because then we can try to apply the lessons from one page to another.
Yeah, one thing that I found really interesting about the backtesting is that now that we can access and manage the code, I think that a direction strategy that runs with another engine, that we are using just the 3-variable method to analyze it, to backtest that. I think that I can refactor the Hummingbot direction strategy base class to match with the backtesting class of direction strategies. And probably we are going to be able, not this month, because we have to finish the backtesting page, but to deploy a Hummingbot strategy with the backtesting code. So I have to do some workarounds, but that is why I think that can be interesting. We can create like Hummingbot scripts based on the backtesting using the 3-variable method that is very different. But I think that we are going to be able to use the same class to do so. But yeah, that is why probably it's interesting that, and I would like to work in the backtesting and the orchestration stuff.
Okay, makes sense. Cool. So yeah, I think that's really helpful. So I think should we go and try the exercise now?
Yeah, sure. Unless Drupman has anything else to add, or anyone else.
If you haven't already, you can send me or Carlito your GitHub handles, and we'll add you to the dashboard team on GitHub. So that way you can actually update, kind of like make changes to your code here. So you should be able to just go into this wiki or performance and just update and edit this page as long as you are in the dashboard like group. Yeah, if you want to edit, just let me know and we'll give you access to this page.
But just so there's like a little bit of extra time in silence, it might make sense to just, 3 minutes or so, because I usually play music on Spotify in the background during these sessions.
I'll turn the music on through mine.
Well, that looks great. I think we can start working with those. So thanks so much for writing those. Really nice. The next part will basically be about looking at individual kind of like solutions to how to approach those things. So even though, there's a lot of different ways to come up with solutions to these HMWs. Some of them are fairly specific, again, regarding something like building the actual front end. Others might be more general. Yeah, for the next, let's say, 7 to 10 minutes, I'll set the timer for 7 minutes first. Feel free to write down as many solutions underneath those yellow post-its, underneath those HMWs, for how you would approach personally, or how someone maybe else might approach those. Nice, cool, thank you. Yeah, I'll just set the timer around 7 minutes. All right. Awesome. This looks great. So there's a lot of different things, also a lot of different solutions. So everybody who wants to participate in kind of prioritizing the most reasonable solutions can just leave a dot vote. I'll just explain that in a second how it works. All the others that will not be voted on are not going to be discounted, but they'll rather act as like a support or as like additional information to the ones that will end up being upvoted. So, okay, so we have a few with 3 votes, 2 votes, and 1 votes. Certain things might be more important, other things might be just easier or faster to do.
I think you basically define like essentially a style sheet that every page inherits. So I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think we should actually, I'll start looking into this and try to basically create a style guide or a style sheet. The first one, I feel like George and I should be able to handle.
Cool, nice, all right. Great, thanks. Feel free to just use these orange post-its, put your name on it, and just move it on top of a blue post-it, just like you did with the votes. Exactly, yeah. On top or below, whatever works. Yeah, perfect. So the second one is how we structure how to join multiple pages. And there is, we can use Streamlit tabs and session_state.
But I think it's a great idea. I think we should definitely use as much of Streamlit as possible in order to basically to make each page work with us.
Nice. Cool. All right, thank you. How much we also, one thing I forgot. Just if there's one name already underneath, it doesn't mean that that's like, a full project. So feel free to also add your name to it if you like to contribute or if you like to work together. Sweet. Okay. The next one, do you want to go through that?
Yeah. This backtesting page is probably going to be the most like advanced dashboard page we have because Fede and Drew, they've already made a lot of progress on it. It'll kind of show everyone else like how to build their pages, basically.
Awesome. Nice. Feedback system on our progress.
It's actually a really good idea too, because I think overall it's like we're gonna have this meeting every 2 weeks, but ideally there's some way for people to get feedback like in between, So for example, there's a dashboard channel right now. People should be giving feedback and updates on their dashboard.
You can probably also create a forum channel, and then you have individual like subpages or subcategories because threads disappear after a while.
Yeah, I'll create Discord forum channels. Yeah, I think the forum channel might be better than a regular channel.
All right, nice. Yeah, but it's a great idea to generally have some communication channel to happen along the way. Yeah, Discord makes sense because you're already using it. All right, cool. So these are basically the most important ones. I would say that these are kind of top priority. Whoever wants to collaborate on those, now you see who's working on what, and also feel free to add your name to it. 1 votes. I don't know how reasonable it is to walk through all of them, or maybe we should briefly or do you want to kind of cover a few of them, Mike?
I wanted to try to kind of give the space for people, like in the community to like take on a project, even if they don't know much about it. For instance, the miner dashboard, so we have a couple people in the community, HB Miner Fan and C Trader XT who want to work on this. And so, you guys, even though you guys are not engineers, you guys can probably like at least on the design part. I think overall, any owners who are not me, Fede, or Drew there for each of these cards, so that we don't have like same people owning the same things.
Yeah, exactly. It's already pretty cool to see that everybody who's already involved in is taking ownership, but it will become evident as we progress and like review these things, how easy it is also to join for anyone who has only tangential skills. Just know that work is being done by someone and everybody's happy to work with you, join you and teach you, and also help you kind of progress in whatever you want to get better at. And of course, it's just also fun to work together. It's more fun than working alone.
Yeah. Yeah. How fast we just all came up with this information. And I think this is really, honestly, this is like the magic of like collaborative, work. Thanks to Andrej for facilitating this. I think this is a great result. So what I'll do, I'll try to structure the standards a bit more. I'll try to get this information onto the wiki. We'll publish a recording as well. Basically just try to get people to understand what's going on. And we'll just do this again in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, thanks so much again. It was also super fun for me.
Okay. Bye, everyone.